up on AgweekTV. Some Minnesota cattle producers are looking at forming a co-op to market their beef. NDSU gets a big financial boost for ag research. South Dakota has a new program to increase grasslands conservation. And we kick off a new series on young farmers and ranchers with a woman who is off the farm but putting her ag knowledge to use by helping other farmers. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Emily Beal. Co-ops have always been an important part of farming. Now, some Minnesota producers are looking at a cooperative approach to marketing their local beef. It's this week's AgWeek cover story.
Some beef producers in north central Minnesota are hoping to create Headwaters Beef Cooperative to market their beef at a competitive price. The group got a $25,000 Cooperatives for Climate grant from the Minnesota Farmers Union to help pay for the cost of starting a co-op. Ariel Kagan is Climate and Working Lands Program Director for Farmers Union. She says this type of project is good for farmers and consumers while addressing climate change.
As we're facing climate crisis and all the challenges that that's bringing, cooperatives again can be a key strategy for farmers to maintain their markets and build their markets.
Jim Chamberlain works for the Soil and Water Conservation District in Crow Wing County in the heart of Lakes Country. He says people who are concerned about the impact of farming on water quality should appreciate the efforts these ranchers use to maintain soil and water health.
The idea being that, if you want clean water from farmland, you should be buying from that farmer and supporting the work that it takes to raise animals in a way that protects water quality, because it's not easy. There's extra challenges, there's extra costs, there's extra labor to do that kind of farming. It just takes more work.
Another issue is the shortage of processing facilities. Dave Endicott is Special Projects Coordinator for Minnesota Farmers Union. He says they're building a meat processing plant in Staples, Minnesota to help meet demand. It will also be a training center for students.
I think it still comes down to, is there more value in them having a cooperative versus them doing their business on their own? And I think for us, it's how can we help support through pricing, through availability, through location, through being USDA certified. Can we help them reach a goal that makes it financially feasible for them to form that co-op?
You can read more in the next AgWeek magazine or at agweek.com. North Dakota State University is getting a big boost for agtech research. The U.S. National Science Foundation awarded a $15 million two-year Regional Innovation Engine grant to the North Dakota Advanced Technology Engine at North Dakota State University. Greg Lardy, NDSU Vice President of Agriculture Affairs, says the funding will be used for varietal development in crops like dry beans. They will also be focusing on accelerating their precision agriculture work and much more.
Our typical funding agency that we would go to in agriculture is USDA, but with this National Science Foundation Award, it really puts NDSU on the map in terms of one of the leading land-grant colleges related to ag technology across the nation.
There is an opportunity for $160 million over the next 10 years. A group in South Dakota is working to increase grassland conservation around the state. The South Dakota Grasslands Initiative was formed last summer as a way to bring people who are passionate about conservation together.
This group has come together from different backgrounds, all with one common goal: to find ways to improve the South Dakota grasslands.
This meeting is an important collaboration with partners to understand and figure out the best way to convey how to protect and conserve the grasslands that we have in South Dakota. They provide an important role from a wildlife standpoint, from a production standpoint, and just a key component to the South Dakota heritage.
Arla Hammond Poindexter ranches in both Clear Lake and Ree Heights, South Dakota. Grassland conservation is a major component of her ranching operations.
I'm attending this event because I'm really passionate about grasslands, and I'm really concerned about the conversion of grasslands, maintaining grasslands, the importance of grasslands for the environment, local economies, and small business development.
Collaboration is key for this initiative.
Even though we're holding them in this South Dakota weather, we're getting great turnouts of individuals who are excited to come together and brainstorm about the grasslands and share what their group's doing and how they want to get that message out to each other to help support landowners and just general South Dakotans to improve their environment.
These in-person meetings give people an opportunity to brainstorm not only conservation ideas, but how they would share those ideas with a larger audience.
Like anything, we can do more together. Each partner brings some trait that's special and unique to them, a different perspective of their priority of the grassland use, and all of those pieces together are playing a role in developing that picture of why it's important that South Dakota keeps our grasslands that we have, and not just keeps them, but has them in as ideal or native of a state as we can.
The South Dakota Grasslands Initiative is hosting a Grasslands Summit on March 18th and 19th. The event is free and registration can be found at sdgrassinitiative.org. Up next on AgweekTV, we continue our livestock tour with some young cattle producers building their herd from the ground up.
A farmer's work is never done. You're not just planting a seed or harvesting a crop, you're growing a legacy. When you're up before dawn and out long past dusk, you need a banker who will work with your schedule, not the other way around. At Choice, we do banking differently, giving farmers like you time back to focus on what really matters. Choice Bank, top North Dakota Ag Bank for 10 years running, and always people first.
There's no easy button, no guarantees, or promises of a good year. This is farming. It's unpredictable and demanding, with long days and sometimes stressful nights. It's weathering the storms and coming out successful. Farming isn't for everyone. We thank those who make it their life, because it is for everyone.
Improve the profitability of your ranch by partnering with Top Herefords. Attend the bull sale February 9th at the ranch in Grace City, North Dakota. When you buy a Top Herefords bull, you're getting top-of-the-line genetics and benefits of marketing your feeder cattle and replacement quality heifers direct. It's a common-sense approach to greater profits on your ranch. View the 2024 catalog at topherefords.com and join us at the bull sale February 9th at 1 p.m.
Attention farmers, increase your revenue and prevent compaction from squeezing your profits with PTG's Central Tire Inflation System, now offered at OK Tire and Service. All controlled from the tips of your fingers, ensuring increased yield and improved fuel economy by adjusting your tire pressure within minutes. You are ensuring the best performance from your tractor on the field and off the field, compatible with any radial tire. Call the OK Tire team today or visit oktireinc.com to learn more.
The AgWEEK Livestock Tour is brought to you by Linskov Ranch and Stockman's Livestock Exchange.
Our livestock tour continues this week. We take a trip to TW Angus in Letcher, South Dakota, where the Williams family has started their operation from the ground up.
Evening chores at TW Angus consist of family, fun, and making sure the cattle are fed. Tate and Callie Williams are first-generation millennial ranchers.
So what that means is we bought this acreage and we started TW Angus, which is a purebred Angus seed stock operation from the ground up.
I originally got into it just through a family friend that I grew up close to. Never had cattle on my side of the family, so went out there at his place and was around them and kind of grew interest in them, and they were nice enough to let me purchase a few of their cows, and that's how I got started.
They have two young sons, Jack and Tommy, who also like to help out on the ranch.
Just to have our own boys tagging along, they learn so much, more than you could ever learn in school, and it's just to see them bloom each season of life, from calving season and doing chores.
It's fun, like tonight, watching one crawl into the tractor with you, and then going around there and feeding and having him talking to the cows as you're feeding, and so it's really fun.
In 2022, the family started offering direct-to-consumer beef sales.
And it was when we were taking our steers to the sale barn and they weren't bringing what we thought they were valued for that we decided to start this direct-to-consumer beef business.
They processed 10 steers this year. 5 were under shares and 5 were state inspected.
We're hoping to up that every year, just depending on the demands that we have.
Ultimately, the Williams' goal is to be able to pass down their ranch to the next generation.
The future would be the 2 boys, to be able to see them continue with it, grow it, be successful at it. I mean, we're doing it for ourselves, but it takes a lot to get established, and hopefully we're established enough to where those 2 can take off and run with it.
TW Angus will be hosting their bull sale on March 2nd and 3rd on DV Auction. Visitors are welcome anytime to view the bulls and heifers. Nearly 1,000 exhibitors from across the country made their way to Sioux Falls, South Dakota last week for the Sioux Empire Livestock Show. For the Raincobb family from Sioux City, Iowa, the Sioux Empire Livestock Show is the first of many shows they will travel to this season. Showing livestock is a family event.
Sometimes it's very stressful because we usually have a whole lot more cows than we do here, and it's very fun and very inclusive, and everyone has a part in it.
And with busy family schedules, livestock shows can be a great time for families to spend quality time together.
I love showing with my brother because it means I get to spend a lot of quality time with him. Like when we wash and we feed them, usually I wouldn't get that much time with him because we both do competitive sports. So I love that I get to spend time with my brother and my dad and my mom.
There were also goat, sheep, and hog shows in the arena. The show has a great impact on the Sioux Falls community, bringing close to a $3 million economic impact to the city. Ahead on AgweekTV, producers have an opportunity to be a part of the carbon conversation.
Attention growers, agribusinesses, and ice fishermen. Agronomy on Ice, the ag event with a tailgating feel, is back. Put on your cold weather gear and join us on Wednesday, February 7th at Woodland Resort in Devils Lake, North Dakota for this unique networking event. See your friends, wet a line, and try some Scandinavian delicacies. Don't miss the Agronomy on Ice Fishing Derby Tuesday, February 6th. Visit agronomyonice.com for more information. We'll see you Wednesday, February 7th on Devils Lake.
Farming is more than a career. It's a lifestyle, a calling, and a badge of honor. That's why it's important to have a banking partner who doesn't just understand the farming industry, they understand your farm. At Bremer Bank, we've spent more than 80 years working side by side with farmers like you to help you invest in and grow your operation. Season after season, from one generation to the next.
Built in North Dakota and delivered across the Midwest, every Pinky home is a custom home, designed for your family, built by ours. And with our on-site lumberyard and generations of experience, we can help build the home of your dreams without breaking your budget. Build something that lasts. Build with Pinky Homes. Get to know us and see all of your customization options at pinkyhomes.com.
The simplicity, I mean, it's a complicated planter, but it's also simple. That row meter is just very simple and it just seems to work. I like that just having that tube delivering the seed with an airstream and not having to have extra belts on it or extra electric motors and stuff. A lot of this machinery seems like it's almost getting overly complicated. The simpler that it can work, but do what it's supposed to do, I think this machine can definitely do that.
Are you a farmer looking to stay on top of the latest trends and innovations in your industry? Attend the International Crop Expo, February 21st and 22nd at the Alaris Center. This free event includes seminars and a trade show featuring over 100,000 square feet of farming machinery and vendors. Hear from keynote speakers Hunter Pinky and Bobby Sandriel. Also, be sure to check out the new BASF Beer Garden. Join us at the Alaris Center, February 21st to 22nd, and take your farming skills to the next level. Learn more at cropexpo.com.
AgWeek Weather is sponsored by Bremer Bank. Connect with a banker today at bremer.com.
Does this winter heat wave plan on sticking around? Here's John with our AgriWeather Outlook.
After a relatively brief
but impressive incursion of extremely warm weather into the northern plains and upper Midwest, there are signs that we may be turning cold again in some of these areas as we go into February. I don't at this point anticipate anything what you would call brutally cold in at least through the first half of February, but I do expect some cold weather returning. With that in mind, the national pattern favors a relatively cool weather pattern setting up again across the South, which is having a fairly cool winter overall, typical of El Nino winters. And overall, with this change back to cooler weather, where will the winter weather be? Where will there be any snowstorms? Let me say up front that at this point, I don't expect an extremely stormy pattern. The jet stream pattern looking a little too convoluted, but there will be some pockets, I think, of at least moderate precipitation. But let's go to this anthill to begin with. I've drawn three streams to kind of represent the general flow pattern, and the primary jet stream to pick out would be this one, troughing along the west coast, kind of an odd-shaped pattern through the Great Plains, which is allowing for this relatively mild weather this week, all up into the northern plains, many days in the 40s as far north as North Dakota and Minnesota. And as we go through this week, that will kind of hang on. This whole region of the country will be quite mild, but it won't be particularly warm in the south. The warm air really being limited to South Florida, the Caribbean. At times, Texas will have some warm days. Only the far southern parts of the Southwest will be warm. Rockies pretty well locked into cold weather, and as we go through this week, there will be some colder temperatures beginning to pool over the western prairie provinces of Canada, and some of that really frigid air will start to show up, but remain mostly pretty far north. As we get toward the end of the week, I do expect to push a colder weather, and by this, the dark blue, I mean below freezing, high temperature type weather, dropping into the northern plains. The Midwest will stay relatively mild. A brief intrusion of warm air into the southeast, which may be accompanied by a rainstorm or some thunderstorms down south, and pretty cold weather in the southwest. Now, we'll switch it to the second week of the forecast. And it does look consistently colder in through the northern plains as we start to see the, generally speaking, cooler weather drop down. I think we'll keep the really cold stuff, sub-zero high type weather up near Hudson Bay, but a cooler weather pattern for the Great Lakes and the northern plains and the western part of the upper Midwest. So with that transition to colder weather, a little bit of rain turning to snow, probably not heavy, more light to moderate in the northern plains with the storm on the east coast and one out west. The second week looks a little drier with the storm in the eastern states and likely not much through the plains.
It was October 1st, 2009. We needed some machinery for the farm. We decided to see if we could become a dealer, and that's kind of grown into what it's been today.
We offer basically anything short line. Seed tenders, fertilizer spreaders, sprayers. We can really set ourselves apart by the knowledge we have in those things, by the amount of units we have on hand at all times.
I just have a passion for helping people, getting to know people. It just becomes a lot of fun.
North Dakota Farmers Union is hosting the Evolution Ag Summit on Tuesday, February 20th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the NDSU headquarters in Jamestown. This is a one-day event focused on the value of implementing carbon sequestration practices on North Dakota farms and ranches. Topics will include industry perspectives, agronomics and economics of soil carbon sequestration incentives, and a farmer-rancher perspective panel. Register online at ndfu.org/evolutionag.
Powerful genetics at an incredible value. Join us for Olson's Red Power Bull Sale, Thursday, February 15th at the ranch west of Argusville, North Dakota. We'll be selling about 70 head of high-quality red Angus and polled Hereford bulls, heifers, and select-bred females. We're celebrating 88 years in the registered cattle business in our heated sale facility. Join us at noon for a great meal before our 1 p.m. sale on Thursday, February 15th, west of Argusville, North Dakota.
There's no easy button, no guarantees, or promises of a good year. This is farming. It's unpredictable and demanding, with long days and sometimes stressful nights. It's weathering the storms and coming out successful. Farming isn't for everyone. We thank those who make it their life, because it is for everyone.
Looking to add non-GMO conventional and organic soybeans to your rotation this year? Soyco International out of Gary, Minnesota is looking for new farmer contracts for the 2023 season. They have proven marketing strategies, partnered with local agronomy expertise to work alongside and provide the certified seeds needed for their contract growers. Soyco International is offering premium prices to boost your operations' bottom line. Reach out to Sean Young today at 218-350-3863 to answer any questions.
Welcome back to AgweekTV. Joining me now is Matt Perdue with the North Dakota Farmers Union and Dave Ripplinger from NDSU Extension. So Matt, North Dakota Farmers Union has an event coming up. Tell me about it.
Yeah, really excited to host our second annual Evolution Ag Summit. The goal of this event is to bring food companies, agribusiness, and farmers and ranchers together to talk about trends that are impacting the marketplace. This year, for the second year in a row, we're going to focus on carbon and the market forces that are driving that discussion across the country and across our supply chains.
Dave, there is currently a lot of pressure to reduce carbon footprints in agriculture. How is that impacting the ag markets?
Well, right now, directly, the impacts on farmers isn't there, but there's all of this momentum growing, and it is becoming an issue, one that farmers and ranchers absolutely have to be familiar with. And as even within the last year, it's changed tremendously. So farmers to become informed, to get engaged and to remain engaged, I think is simply going to be part of agriculture in the upper Midwest.
Matt, who are some of the speakers and what kind of panels are you guys having?
Yeah, so really excited for a great lineup of speakers. We have ADM, we have CHS, we have Dave and some of his colleagues from NDSU. We are flying folks in from DC and from Texas, really to talk about all of the different ways that this is impacting our markets or will impact markets.
Dave, why do you think this is a good event for farmers and ranchers to attend?
Yeah, I think it's actually critical for farmers and ranchers to become engaged in this topic. And this one-day event, the face-to-face event, is probably the single best way to get up to speed.
Rob Sharkey, the shark farmer, is going to be the keynote speaker at the event. What are you hoping people will take away from his talk?
Yeah, so Rob is an Illinois farmer. He's also a social media personality who does a great job of telling the story of agriculture to everyday folks out there. So really excited to have his humorous approach.
Matt, for those interested, where can they find information?
Yeah, so you can find out more and register at ndfu.org/evolutionag. We also have our agenda there and a pre-webinar that we are hosting with Dave and some other partners to really get people introduced to the topic.
Well, it certainly sounds like an interesting event. Thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you.
Matt Perdue and Dave Ripplinger. Up next on AgweekTV, we kick off a new series on the next generation of farmers and ranchers, with a young woman putting her knowledge to use by helping farmers.
Built in North Dakota and delivered across the Midwest, every Pinky home is a custom home, designed for your family, built by ours. And with our on-site lumberyard and generations of experience, we can help build the home of your dreams without breaking your budget. Build something that lasts. Build with Pinky Homes. Get to know us and see all of your customization options at pinkyhomes.com.
Attention farmers, increase your revenue and prevent compaction from squeezing your profits with PTG's Central Tire Inflation System, now offered at OK Tire and Service, all controlled from the tips of your fingers, ensuring increased yield and improved fuel economy by adjusting your tire pressure within minutes. You are ensuring the best performance from your tractor on the field and off the field, compatible with any radial tire. Call the OK Tire team today or visit oktireinc.com to learn more.
Attention growers, agribusinesses, and ice fishermen. Agronomy on Ice, the ag event with a tailgating feel, is back. Put on your cold weather gear and join us on Wednesday, February 7th at Woodland Resort in Devils Lake, North Dakota for this unique networking event. See your friends, wet a line, and try some Scandinavian delicacies. Don't miss the Agronomy on Ice Fishing Derby Tuesday, February 6th. Visit agronomyonice.com for more information. We'll see you Wednesday, February 7th on Devils Lake.
A farmer's work is never done. You're not just planting a seed or harvesting a crop. You're growing a legacy. When you're up before dawn and out long past dusk, you need a banker who will work with your schedule, not the other way around. At Choice, we do banking differently, giving farmers like you time back to focus on what really matters. Choice Bank, top North Dakota Ag Bank for 10 years running, and always people first.
When it comes to grain storage and handling solutions, one call does it all. Gateway Building Systems is one of the largest Brock bin dealers in the U.S. Our expert team is dedicated to creating a customized plan for your future success. Expanding your operation has never been easier with our range of Brock solid bins, grain dryers, conveyors, and more. As your trusted partner, we are committed to serving the needs of farmers. Take the first step toward success and call Gateway Building Systems today.
AgWeek's Young Farmer and Rancher series is brought to you by Bremer Bank.
The average American farmer is 57 years old, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. To give you an inside look at the next generation of agriculture, AgWeek kicks off a series this week on stories of young farmers and ranchers ages 35 and under across the upper Midwest, United States.
Bailey Reiser grew up on a farm near Carrington, North Dakota, and while her career path has taken her off the farm, she's never far away from farming. She started as an ag education teacher in Rolla, and now the 26-year-old is an NDSU extension agent in Cavalier County. At Extension, she teaches all ages about a variety of ag topics, putting her classroom skills to work.
Yeah, this job definitely going from the classroom setting where you know the little bit about a lot of things, now it's the actual implication of those little bit about a lot of things. And, you know, I get the phone calls from a farmer saying they want to go out and crop scout this. Well, then it's actually going out there and looking at it versus, you know, looking at it and then teaching them what it is and what it's about versus just being in a classroom and teaching from that PowerPoint or the textbook. And
Reiser started at Extension in 2022 and quickly implemented some new programs, like a Stop the Bleed first aid class. And she plans to add more this year, like Annie's Project, an ag leadership program for women.
I really like what I do, and I like being able to help the farmers. Like, you still get that excitement and the joy from, you know, the reactions you get with like, oh, thanks, you know, thanks for helping me out with this question, or I really appreciate you know, diving into that and finding out the correct answer or whatever it is.
Reiser says she loves being able to incorporate everything from her background and her ag education degree from NDSU to her work today, sharing ag information with multiple generations.
I learned the ropes this last year. Now it's kind of starting to implement some of those other programs.
Thank you to Bremer Bank for sponsoring this series. Stories you'll only see on agweek.com and in AgWeek magazine this week. An aspiring farmer is suing Minnesota's governor and ag commissioner over an emerging farmer ag grant program, alleging discrimination. And North Dakota livestock experts share details on how the state is moving towards growing the livestock industry at the North Dakota Livestock Alliance Summit in Fargo. We appreciate you watching AgweekTV. Remember to check us out daily on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to keep up on all your ag news. Have a wonderful week, everyone.